Daniel James was one of the breakout stars of this championship season. Gradually establishing himself as a regular starter for Swansea City, he ended up with 4 goals and 7 assists in 33 league outings. While the Welsh club came nowhere near promotion, the 21-year-old showed that he has what it takes to play at a higher level. James operated primarily on the left wing of Graham Potter's preferred 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 systems, though he was also frequently deployed on the right-hand side. At times, he was even tasked with leading the line, displaying a promising level of tactical versatility within the English second tier's most possession-based side. He was one of Swansea's more productive attacking players, averaging 1.3 dribbles and 1.2 key passes per game, and his quality is perhaps highlighted by another, less exciting statistic. In the Championship, only Aston Villa's Jack Grealish was fouled more often. Pace is the young Welshman's most obvious asset, and he uses it effectively in a number of ways. A natural winger, James likes to receive the ball on or near the touchline, where he has a better chance of getting isolated up against a fullback. Once in possession, he prefers to attack space rather than his opposite man. Many modern wide players are 1v1 specialists who get close to their marker before deceiving them with nimble footwork, trickery or a quick turn. James, however, targets the space on either side of or behind his marker. Direct and aggressive when facing goal, he drives at defenders and is excellent at attacking the last line. In these situations, he will knock the ball beyond his man before running around to collect, essentially playing himself in. The more time he gets on the ball, the more momentum he can generate, and the more space between a defensive line and their goal, the likelier it is that he will penetrate the opposition single-handedly. But James doesn't just look for space behind or around the outside. He also dribbles laterally across the pitch, targeting the area between the opponent's midfield and defensive lines. While these movements may initially look less threatening, they actually give him and his team a wider variety of options. By driving inside, he gets more access to the central channels, from where he has an improved angle for shots or combinations with teammates in dangerous areas. Against a man-orientated defence, he drags his man inside with him, freeing up space down the flanks for his team's fullbacks to attack. His inward dribbles can also collapse and distract a defence, enabling movement on the blind side by his teammates. And even against organised backlines, his dribbling through different vertical channels can confuse defenders, causing uncertainty as to who is responsible for closing him down. His speed may be key, but James has also developed alternative ways to enhance his team's attacking play that do not simply involve running into space. 1-2s with nearby teammates are a good way for him to get beyond his marker. Here, he can use his foreknowledge of where he's going to get ahead of his opposite man and receive the return pass. He also moves well off the ball, making forward runs to open up passing lanes between other teammates. At times, championship teams have doubled up on him when he receives out wide. While this is a fairly effective way for opponents to reduce his threat, it means they have less players to cover in other areas of the pitch. Swansea's attack was undoubtedly better for the presence of James, and his influence didn't stop once the ball was lost. Defensively, his pace comes in handy when pressing, as he can step up quickly to close down. Should the ball player play a slack pass or the receiver be in a bad position, he is able to fluster them into mistakes, back passes, or hurried long balls. One example of this came against Norwich, a team that liked to build from the back via short passes. James was utilised as a striker. In this role, he was tasked with closing down sideways play between the centre-backs, rushing the opponent's build-up play by reducing their time on the ball with the aim of forcing turnovers high up the pitch. Once possession is turned over, he is a genuine threat in attacking transition. He instantly looks to get in behind back lines with runs between defenders, with his pace making him a genuine outlet for direct counter-attacks over the top or in behind. Now, Manchester United are looking to rebuild after a disappointing end to the campaign, and James is one of their main summer transfer targets. Since arriving, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has tended to line up in a 4-3-3 formation, although he has used a 4-2-3-1 at times. Experiments with a diamond midfield and a back three aside, it's clear that he wants a system incorporating wingers. However, he lacks genuine candidates for these positions. Unlike his predecessor Jose Mourinho, Solskjaer prefers to use Marcus Rashford as a striker. Meanwhile, Juan Mata and Jesse Lingard have both been deployed out wide, though both seem to thrive more consistently in central roles between the midfielders and forwards. As for Anthony Martial and Alexis Sanchez, both have generally underwhelmed of late. As a natural winger who can play on either flank, James would solve this problem, and he may also help Solskjaer tactically in other ways. He could form a productive left-side partnership with the team's most creative player, Paul Pogba. With his threat in behind, James could drag opposition defences back and create extra space between the lines for Pogba to exploit. Alternately, the pair could combine with each other through 1-2s or through balls. As well as helping to maximise the abilities of Manchester United's most talented individual, James might help in reducing the attacking responsibility placed on an ageing set of fullbacks by being the sole provider of attacking width on one side. On top of all that, Solskjaer, who seems to want his side to defend more aggressively and higher up the pitch, would be bolstered by the 21-year-old's pace in pressing. Now, James isn't the finished article yet. He's raw in terms of his decision-making and execution of the final ball, and is at times over-eager to dribble past his man. However, he does possess a lot of the qualities Manchester United are looking for to strengthen their attack. And, as shown when terrorising Manchester City's defence in FA Cup action in March, James has what it takes to succeed against top-class opposition. Daniel James and hundreds of other professional players are available to trade on Football Index, the real money football stock market. Have a look at the link below and also see details of a special promo code for Tifo viewers.